Hey everyone, Mike McClary here from Amazing.com and from Zoop Seller Software. And today we're going to talk about why 98% of the products that launch on Amazon fail. And more importantly, how you can be a part of the 2% that have a much higher chance of being successful. And to do that, I brought along Mel's and Sean from IntelliV. I appreciate you guys being here. You guys have such a treasure trove of knowledge and data on this topic. I thought this was really interesting because I always think that I'm a really smart guy and I know what's best for people buying my products. But when talking with you about why that's not really the case, it opened my eyes to who's the best to actually guide the product creation process. What's the whole idea of like developing a really good product and where do you start?
Yeah. So thanks for all the nice wordings. I mean, but you know, it's for us as we have like multiple brands, it always starts like, what kind of products do you come up with? Like, and then how do you know it's actually a good fit? So, but also if you look to the Amazon metrics, if you see how many products actually fail after they're being launched, it's so much. Over 98% of products ever launched on Amazon fail. So how do you get yourself with a 2%, right? I'm not talking about 2%. That's the one that's only the best sellers. No, it's not. It's the product selling over 10 units a day. There is some science that you have to apply, but it can be done. There's 3 ways of developing products. 1 is copycatting an existing product. 2, source an improved version of an existing product. And 3, make a product from scratch. And I think most people that start selling on Amazon, they start with 1. They just try to copycat an existing product. And sometimes finding the exact manufacturer of your competitor, making a clone, thinking that you can do better.
I mean, there are services that help you go out there and find your competitors' manufacturers, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Back, when Mel's, Sean, when we were all starting, maybe that cloning, copycatting worked back in 2012, 2013, but I'm assuming it's not working today.
It still does. The only thing is you have to lower your price. I mean, you can compete on either 3 things: on price, on the product itself, or on the presentation of it. But if you're competing with products that have a very good presentation and a very good price, the only thing you can do is dip lower. And they have that historical data of like a lot of reviews sometimes that you have to compete against. And they have like stabilization in the algorithm. So it's better to actually find a source and improved version of an existing product. Or the third is developing like completely from scratch. But, leave that to the big guys. So let's focus on like the second way of doing it.
Okay, so let's imagine that I want to do this, and I do. So we don't have to imagine. I want to, create an improved version of a product. How do I do that? Like, is it just upon me to come up with what an improved version is?
I think that many of you guys know the name Eric Ries that wrote the Lean Startup, actually started the movement. And then the guy actually helped Eric Ries to start this Lean Startup movement was Steve Blank, and he wrote 4 Steps to the Epiphany. And then there's an even older book from the 1971, I think, called Breakthrough Advertising, must reads. But they all have one thing in common, and they talk about listening to your consumers. And if you look in the market, like what every unicorn, which is a business valued over $1 billion, what they all have in common, they did that thing very well. So that's what you should do too. To make that practical, what you can do, if you have a product idea in mind, don't go to market with just that idea and the assumption that what you did is great, because you don't know. You need to get it validated. How do you get it validated? One of the ways that you can do without any tool, without any help, is just go out and talk to people. And how do you talk to people is super important, because if you get a crowd together, which can be your friends and family, you should have your solution that you have in mind together with your competitors next to each other. And you have to ask like a certain question. And that question is 1 is eliminate bias. And 2 is create the right amount of framing. You should frame them into a problem-aware state. It's a marketing term, but problem-aware means you have to put people in the position as if they needed the product. Eliminating bias, you shouldn't tell them like what kind of solution you had in mind. So if you present like product listings next to each other, don't tell them which one is yours. Because trust me, people are biased. They say, okay, I like Mike, of course. Yeah, I like yours best. Yeah, you know how that goes, right? So you just want to have like an honest answer. So what you do, and you ask the question and you ask it this specific way. Imagine you have problem and you found out there was a solution. Which one of these products would you buy and why? The people will start talking. So they see the products or the listings or whatever it is, and you don't argue. Pay attention. And that's what you want to learn. You want to know people's reasoning to choose one product over the other.
I think I want to like give a real world example, because as I work with you guys, I make emergency preparedness products. And so like a great example is, imagine a storm is coming tonight and you don't want your family to go without light. And then which of these products would you buy? And I sell camping lanterns, just so everyone knows out there. Which of these would you buy to make sure you guys didn't go without light?
And then you would say, okay, but then there was one thing in between. If you say, hey, if there's a storm coming, problem. Mm-hmm. And you found out that if a storm is coming, a camping lantern might be a solution, right? So then you frame them into the position of looking for a camping lantern. Which one of these products would you buy and why?
Perfect.
Make sense?
Yeah, sure does.
So that's the little twist. Yeah. So, and then if you get the answers and the reasoning, make notes, better record it, do whatever needed. And then you want to study the outcome as well. Like, hey, how many people pick one product over the other and why? Sometimes it's like equal, but many times there's like a clear winner. You want to know why people are choosing that product instead. And then you find out things that you thought that you understood, but things that are completely new, right? People might say, hey, yeah, this product because it looks bigger. Oh, I thought we needed a small item. They said, no, it looks bigger because, and then it comes a reasoning. And that's why you do it like as early on in the product development process as possible before you actually source your products, because this helps tremendously in making the right decision. So with the information you have, you go back to the drawing table and you make like a new version, or maybe you highlight elements in your product or your listing that were not visible before. Now you highlight them and then you go back to the same group or another group and you do the same thing over and over again until your product comes out as a winner, or at least has like a significant portion of the people that say, hey, I like this product because, and they have like a clear reasoning why they like your product. And that's the moment that you say, okay, now I'm pretty confident to go to market with this specific product.
That's an awesome, simple strategy to help, have your consumers guide your product development. Didn't you share a story like you were in China where you did this one time in order to find out if a product that someone wanted to sell you was going to be a good product?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, we were on a fair. It was not in China. It was like in a fair somewhere in Europe. There was a manufacturer we worked with for years. And they came to us like, hey, we have this fancy new model type thing, which is great and will work well in the US market. So we're like, okay, great. Can you send us like an image of this product? And they said, yeah, why do you need it? So, well, just give us an image. And they gave it. And we have this system in the tool called Iterating. So we did put it in Iterating. 2 hours later, we got there with an exact report saying like, hey, people don't like this product because of XYZ reasons. And they were like, oh, we worked for a year and a half on this design. And you just wipe it off the table like in 2 minutes, 2 hours, to be honest. So yeah, that was a very interesting approach. So yeah, we actually live by this approach and we cannot live without it. Basically, every decision we make with every product we go to market, we just want to know like what makes people click, what makes people tick, what makes people buy, what is the reasoning behind it. We just want to know. Sometimes in making like newer versions of products, sometimes we have 3-4 different versions of exactly the same product. Because of the different reasonings that people have. And it's actually something that you should do as e-commerce sellers. What we say, how it was presented to us in the beginning, you can do it from wherever you want. Like you can do it like lay on the beach with the computer in front of you. Well, forget about it. That was 2012. Right now, you have to go out, talk to people before you launch a product. That's super important. You sign up for success. How many sellers do have products and can relate? Every time they get like the invoice from the warehouse, what are the 50,000 units of this item doing there for 2 years already? I think every seller around for that long can relate.
I got a couple thousand units at least of several products that had I done some better research and known what people did and didn't want, those products would change right now and I'd be selling more of them. You don't have to have a physical product you set in front of people. You can actually just come up with like an image and the title and the features and put that in front of people as well. Is that kind of what you're talking about, Sean and Mels?
Yeah, and that does tie into what Intellivi does. There's polling functions or micro testing that allows you to do that. But yeah, one of the best ways is proof of concept before you even go to market. And you can do proof of concept with literally, I mean, if you think about Amazon, it's a virtual marketplace. So you don't necessarily have to have the product in hand. And doing that allows you to iterate much faster too. You don't have to wait however much time it takes for your factory to send samples to, decent creatives from the factory that allow you to at least get like a viable test and present the product in a decent manner and get the feedback. So when it comes to speed, is the faster you can iterate, that's everything. So
no, that's great advice. And so people are doing this and they don't have access to IntelliV. We'll talk about IntelliV more. And if people want to try that out and get, that instant feedback, but if they want to do it manually now, you can gather your friends together. You can share with them in a Facebook group or something like that. Those are a little manual, maybe time intensive, but it is possible. Or there are some really cool software solutions that we'll be talking about soon as well that people can get instant access to.
The way that you do it is not important. Like we made tools for ourselves and now it's open in the market, but validation makes your life so much easier. You can make faster decisions of how many people are procrastinating. Like, is this a right product? Am I sure? No, you're not. Go talk to people and then you will know. Maybe you're procrastinating for a reason, right? So, and then you can get into the market with confidence. And that's what we have right now. We know beforehand that a product will take off. And in 99% of the times, we're right. And that's a huge difference compared to 2014 when we started selling on Amazon. I mean, the first product was a home run, which was great. The second product was a failure. The third product was a failure. We're like, what is happening? Why is it not taking off as the first one did? We found out. And now, right now, we like everything is going great. Of course, we make mistakes. Everybody does. But this sign up for success is a huge different way of doing things. And we've learned it the hard way. Once we had a brand built without it, like a couple of years ago, when this strategy we didn't use, we lost like $1.5 million over one single brand with like 20 products in there. We said, okay, now we're going into operational excellence, doing things fast. And that was in 2016, 2017, when the whole market, there was a shift in the market. It was not validated. So we said, like, gamify the system until like we succeed. It failed. It was hard-earned money. With this knowledge, you don't need to have those kind of failures anymore.
Just one final point too, Mike. As Mel's mentioned in the beginning of the video, only 2% of products that are launched succeed. But I can tell you, for us personally, we have at this point, I would say, upwards of 95% success rate on any product we develop and launch at this point. So, and over the past year, we've launched 40 products, and we have another 40 in the pipeline right now. And it's how this is the methodology to ensure success. And when we go to market with these products, we now have high confidence in their potential and what their performance is going to be.
That is awesome. I imagine the power of launching a product that people want to buy. If you like this video, if you want to hear and see more, drop a comment or question below. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible. And stay tuned because we'll be having more videos just like this. So Mel, Sean, thank you guys so much. Thanks everyone for watching this. And we will see you all in another video.